welcome to the first episode of With Maddie in Mind, a special crossover between Misti Blue and iLEAD. This is part one of a multi-episode series entitled The Joy, the Journey, and the IEP. This series will blend strategy and education with the soul of personal story. It's where leadership meets love and where purpose finds people. At iLEAD, we elevate systems through strategy. At Misti Blue, we sow soul, resilience, faith, and human-centered leadership. This series, it's both, because when it comes to advocating for our children, we need both. And today, it begins with Maddie. Maddie is a 3-year-old little girl, and her middle name, it's Joy. And believe me, she lives up to it. She's joy made visible. Sunshine wrapped in sweetness. She's silly and kind and wise in ways that catch you off guard. She feels what others feel. She sees what others miss. And her smile can light up a room. Her laugh is contagious. And she often fills the space of sentences and conversations with the word well. She loves to hold a microphone, play chef, swim, run outside, write with sidewalk chalk, and change into multiple costumes a day. She knows her colors, she can count, and she belts out Disney soundtracks without missing a beat. And yes, she knows every single Disney character by name. She adores her grandparents. She loves strawberries and boiled eggs, just like her auntie. And she loves her auntie. And her auntie loves her right back, infinitely. Her mama, my sister, is her world. I always say that Maddie's sun rises and sets on her mama, and it does. And my brother, well, watching him with Maddie is like seeing a second chance come alive. He shows up with gentleness and patience and protection. Like life handed him a do-over, and he grabbed it with both hands. Maddie was diagnosed with autism. One day I'll invite my sister to share what it was like to walk through that diagnosis with faith and hope, dignity, and a fierce, quiet advocacy. But today I want to tell you about a moment that my sister and I shared recently. Something small that opened the door to something much bigger. Not long ago, my sister told me about Maddie's therapy sessions. The therapist had set goals, some around literacy, some around motor, and some around language. But after a while, Maddie grew frustrated, and my sister noticed that some of the goals were things that Maddie had already mastered, while others just didn't fit how Maddie learns. She shared with me her biggest fear in that moment. What if Maddie has a meltdown? What if this frustration steals her love for learning? She's only 3. I don't want her joy to be muted by goals that don't really fit her. And that right there is the heart of it. When expectations are mismatched, when goals aren't truly written with the child in mind, the risk is not just missed progress. The risk is dampening the very enthusiasm that fuels learning. The joy of a 3-year-old should never be muted by mismanaged expectations. She called me afterwards wanting to talk it through, and she said something that so many parents feel. I just don't know if I'm doing this right, and I'm not sure if I understand all of it. And here's what I told her, and what I want every parent to hear. You're not supposed to already know everything about this journey. None of us starts out knowing. We learn as we go, alongside our children. That's when I shared a way to think about early literacy. Before kids can read letters, they need to hear sounds. That skill is called phonemic awareness, hearing and playing with sounds in spoken words. Once that foundation is steady, we then map those sounds to graphemes, or the written symbols that represent them. As literacy researcher Timothy Shanahan explains, sound awareness and letter sound mapping should be taught together but only if phonemic awareness is made solid first. And instruction should be explicit and systematic, which means step by step in a clear order, not left to chance. I told her to picture a stop sign. Even if the letters weren't there, you'd still stop because the shape, the color, the placement, they all carry meaning. Letters work the same way. We want children to see a symbol and know what it means, the sound, not just copy the shape. So yes, we connect letters and sounds. We often start with high-frequency consonants and short vowels. We blend, we read, and we write simple words. But listening skills, or phonemic awareness, always stay front and center. That way a child can hear at, and connect those sounds to make the word mat. That is the bridge. That same therapy session included letter tracing. And here's the thing, tracing is helpful when it's balanced. Tracing can reinforce the link between like a letter's shape and its sound. It can even build visual coordination, and it can really strengthen muscle memory. It can also grow focus, but tracing should never become the only activity. As Shanahan also reminds us, phonics and writing practice should live inside a bigger world of multisensory play. We finger paint letters in sand. We build them with Play-Doh, we sing songs, we clap rhythms, we skywrite with really big arm movements. It should be joyful, not stressful. And when it doesn't, we adjust the tool, not the child. My sister noticed Maddie's frustration, and she did what every parent should feel empowered to do. She spoke up. She said, Maddie can already do this, and here's what I'm seeing at home. That moment truly mattered. Advocacy doesn't have to be loud. It can be calm, clear, and centered on the child. It can sound like this. At home, my child can, and you fill in the blank. But here's where she gets frustrated, and then asks the question, can we adjust this goal to meet her where she is right now? That is advocacy in action. And that led to our next conversation. What's going to happen when Maddie starts school? Well, I informed her that Maddie's going to have an IEP, or what's also called an individualized education plan. An IEP is a legally binding plan created by a team that, guess what? It includes you, the parent. It spells out the services, the supports, the goals, and even progress monitoring that a student with a disability has the right, that's correct, the right to receive in school. As the U.S. Department of Education explains, an IEP isn't just paperwork, it's a roadmap for children's education. And as the Parent Center Hub and many advocates remind us, parents are essential members of the team. You're not just a guest at the table. You are a key person at the table. Think of it this way. The IEP is the roadmap, but parents, you're the compass. Here's what I want every parent to hold on to. You are not a bystander in your child's education. You are a co-architect, a teammate, an advocate. Advocacy doesn't have to mean conflict. It means showing up, asking questions, requesting clarity. It means saying, I want to work with you, not around you, to help my child thrive. That's strategy said with soul for a child whose joy is then made visible. This is just the beginning of the series of With Maddie in Mind, a series where strategy meets soul. In future episodes, we're going to dig deeper into IEPs and what to do when a plan isn't followed, and how to prepare for meetings and how to stay centered on what matters most, your child. And through all of it, I want us to remember our job isn't just to chase goals. Our job is to protect joy, to keep the spark alive so children like Maddie don't lose the very thing that makes learning possible: wonder, curiosity, laughter, and love. If you're a parent navigating special education or preparing for an IEP meeting, what's also called an ARD, visit iLEADMB.com. You'll find templates, goal setting tools, and scripts to guide your conversations with the school team. Because your child deserves a team, and so do you. At iLEAD, we elevate systems through strategy. At Misti Blue, we sow soul. This series is both because our children deserve both. From my heart to yours, thank you for listening.